Alright guys, welcome back to the No Sin Is Allowed podcast. Hopefully my camera doesn't drop this time, but I was thinking that, see, like, you can like barely see my head, which sucks. Let me quickly try to fix that, because if not, I don't really care. Okay, I think that will be the best that I could do, unless I move my seat a bit back. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better. Alright, anyway, welcome back to my podcast. I thought I would continue doing these in my car because I'm constantly driving, so it's a good way to finally like get these off my like to-do list, because I really like doing it, but like to sit down at home and like chill for a bit, I don't really have that much time. And also this will make it be much shorter than it typically is. Instead of me like rambling on for like 20 minutes, I can keep it like 10 to 15. Anyway, let's get to the topic, which is opinions versus criticisms. Let me close up the window so you can actually hear me. Anyway, yeah, so opinions versus criticisms. What a lot of people don't understand is that everybody has an opinion. It could be wrong, it could be right, but not everyone can have a critique. You can't critique unless you don't have the credentials. So, my argument is here in terms of like The Last Jedi. A lot of people are like, it's fundamentally this, it's critically this, and blah, blah, blah. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You're using these words incorrectly. To have a critique, to be able to critique people, you have to have the credentials. So for me to say, to critique Rian Johnson's work, I would need to be a filmmaker. I would need to have studied film myself, which I don't, which I haven't. So I can't give a critique to it. I don't know what a film needs. I don't know what a film deserves. I don't know what is the foundation and the layout of the film. Let me close this too. What's the layout and the foundation of the film? So I can't speak to it. I can give my opinion about it based on the fact that I've seen movies throughout my whole life, but I don't have a critique. I'm not a critique in terms of that field. For example, a scientist. I can't critique them. I don't study science. I'm bad at science. I can't say what this formula needs or not. No, I give my opinion about it. Oh, that's cool. That's this and that's that. I can't critique it. And it just bothers me because a lot of people think that because they have a microphone and they have a camera and they can afford those things, their opinion, well, not opinions, because they don't even use the term opinion, their critiques are valid. And it's like, they're not. They're not. They're opinions. Let's keep it at that. You can have an opinion. Just because you can afford a $100 microphone and a $100 camera doesn't give you the right to critique someone's work. Rian Johnson, for example, I don't want to keep putting his name out there because this has been, 2 years now? But anyway, Rian Johnson probably studied Shakespeare, taken film school, has studied films for years, have made other films, so he knows what the film needs, especially that he wasn't working alone with this. So who am I, who are these people to critique these people's work when I haven't made I haven't put my foot in that media? You know what I mean? It's just wrong. Like, I love video games. I plan on doing video games, like making them. I'm studying it now. Can I critique games? Kind of, sort of. I would actually say no, because I haven't made a game myself. Do I know what games typically need? Kind of not. But I can't critique it. Like, I can give my opinions about it. Like, 4 video games in the past year have been fantastic for me. They are so well written, so well developed, so well managed, and mechanics and everything. But that's my opinion. I can't say it's critically. Sorry, I can't be a critic and say I'm critiquing the game like that. No. That's for publishers. That's for developers to say that, because they make those stuff. They've been doing it for years. They have studied that art form, and it just bothers me because all these people on YouTube, and this might be ironic because I'm actually on YouTube talking about this, think that because they have a microphone, they have a camera, and they have their voice, it is immediately valid. No, we live in such an entitled world. And my coworker brought up an opinion, an opinion recently. He said that people are so easily offended, and I was taking that with a grain of salt because I jumped into the conversation later. So I spoke to him about it afterwards, and he said, where am I going? He's like, no, people literally get so offended by things they shouldn't be offended by. And he was talking about movies and TV shows, like, oh, that offended me. Who was going out of their way to offend you? Why did you feel offended? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can feel offended because someone attacked my character. Someone attacked my, my race. You know what I mean? I can't feel offended because a TV show was in existence. This 40-minute episode played out. It's just so dumb. Like the Game of Thrones thing. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. I am watching it now. But like for people to be like, oh, that episode offended me. Offended you how? How? Because you're a viewer and you're watching someone else show their work and show what's in their mind on screen. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And that's where I wanted to talk about this on another podcast, but I think I might mention it now here. My favorite types of forms of medium, would be in this order: video games, books, movies, and TV shows. Why I say that is because books, number one, they are in my head. That's my imagination. Yes, the author has written their own work, but it's the way that I can perceive it that can be different, and it also brings more realism and engagement in it, which is absolutely, like, I love it. If it's a book before it's a movie, I will read the book. I will read the book because for me to have that imagination, but at the same time kind of share with the author, but it could be somewhat different, is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. The fact that someone can create a world and it can exist differently for me, and people don't understand that. People don't understand that that is how books work, and that's how books differentiate from TV shows and movies, right? Video games. Video games, I think, are great because you're taking control of the character. Yes, it's a character that someone else has created, but it's your version. Like, when I play Tomb Raider, it's not Square Enix. Well, I mean, it is in a way, but not 100%, I think. Square Enix's Lara Croft, it's also my Lara Croft. It's how I relate to her, how I see her, because I'm playing with her. Every action that she does, it's me doing them. So I'm kind of her, you know what I mean? Same thing with Sora. Well, my throat was dry today. Same thing with Sora. Sora's been my favorite video game character for my whole life. I've known him for my whole life. But like, my Sora is different from this guy's Sora, different from that person's Sora, different from that girl's Sora. It's because that you foster that relationship. But movies and TV shows, they are different. They are so different. That is someone else's work being translated onto screen. That is someone else's representation of it. The actors are perceiving how they perceive the character based on how they've studied it. We are watching someone else's imagery. We're watching someone else's art form. You know what I mean? It is not something that's in your head, not something that you can control. And that's what people don't understand. And that's why you have to differentiate critiques and opinions. I can have an opinion on something, I can't critique it if I'm not in that art form. And another one of my coworkers, he said, okay, so if what you're saying is true and it's a sound argument, then that would mean that I can critique films because that's what I went to school for. And I said, yes, all the more, because you know what a film needs. You know the foundation of the film. You know what it needs, what it lacks, what are the structures, what are the tropes of it. I can't. I can say my opinions on it. I can say this movie was good. This movie was great because of this, that, and that. I can't say it's lacking this, it's lacking that. I can give an opinion, say maybe if it was done this way to my point of view, but people don't understand that. People don't understand that. And it just proves that we are living in such an entitled society and a dumb society because people cannot differentiate the different types of mediums, different types of forms of media, and how each of them need to be represented and who can really put their foot down and say this needs this is lacking this. And it just sucks. It sucks because there are a lot of people who are affected by this in terms of being harassed on internet. And yeah, it just sucks because it's just like, wow, you guys clearly are lacking this knowledge. I don't want to seem like I'm attacking anyone. Maybe I just want to just educate people, but I'm kind of really pressed or annoyed about it because it's just, when I explain this to people, they're like, and I'm like, what is there not to get? Have you studied this? Like, here's a good way, and I'll end this off like this. My teacher can give me critiques on my work. My peers can give me their opinions. Why? Because they're not teachers. They haven't studied this. Teachers have studied this. They have the credentials. They have the credits that make them the teacher to do this. Just like your manager. Your manager can give you critiques about your performance. Your coworkers, they can't. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's my that's my No Sin Is Allowed podcast because I don't think like that. I don't want people to think like that. Come on, people. Come on, people. Anyway, that's been my No Sin Allowed podcast. Thank you guys for joining. And let me know if you like this car vlog talk. I really like it because it's just a nice, like, get it out of the way. Because at the same time, I'm tired of listening to the same song over and over again. But I mean, I can listen to motivation every time, every day. Anyway, let me stop this before it gets too long. Peace.